Welcome to the old man's corner. Today I'm going to be sharing an event that happened when I was a little bit older. I was invited to go out on a camping trip for a couple of days on a weekend. It was during the summer, and I thought, well, I had nothing really else to do, so it sounded like it'd be fun. I didn't drive myself. I went with the people that were going. So therefore, once you're out there until the trip was over. When we got out it was a little lake in Oklahoma. We got out there and we got all set up. It was a little warm for me, but hey, there was a big old lake out there you could go swimming in. So I thought it was going to be a pretty good time. We sat and ate a little bit of lunch. The ladies prepared the lunch. And decided we'd go out into the water. So I looked out the water, and a ways out, evidently somebody had built this tower that you could climb up on and then jump off into the water. I thought, well, that's interesting. I've never seen one out in the middle of the lake, out in the water. So we got in the water, and I was all playing around and stuff, and kind of swam out to that. And I kind of looked up that thing, and it looked like it was probably, 7, 8 feet in the air, which isn't very far up, unless you're scared of heights. So I stayed at the bottom. A bunch of them were climbing up there and jumping off, and climbing up and jumping off. There were a lot of younger people, and I guess I felt kind of silly being the only one that wasn't going to go up there and jump off. So I bobbed out there around that for a while, and I thought, with my fear of heights, that's kind of silly. But I didn't want to let them down. That's what we came out there for, some fun. So I was out there, and the evening was starting to set, and I thought, well, if I'm ever going to do this, I might as well do it now. So sloppy wet, I climbed up on top of that thing and stood there. Got out there and looked, and like I said, it was only 6 or 7 feet in the air. But when you add another 6 foot tall structure, which is me, then it's like 13 feet in the air. I thought, oh, this is the stupidest thing I've done in a long time. So I stood there, and water dripping off of me from being soaking wet and swimming. Stood there, and the next thing I knew, I was pretty much dry. The wind blew me dry because I was contemplating that jumping off there. I don't know. And then I thought, well, maybe I'd climb back down. But then climbing back down, all the rungs were wet and stuff like that. And I thought, well, I'd slip and fall, and with my luck, slip and fall and crack my nose open or something like that. So finally, I thought, well, we're going to go ahead and do this. So I looked down at the water and kept looking down at the water, and they're yelling at me from the bank, jump, jump. So finally, I took a big old jump and hit that water and got down in there, and it was all right. I survived. I was alive. I thought, now, that was great. That was really great. So I swam around a little bit, and I thought, well, that wasn't so bad, so I'll climb back up there and do that again. So swam around a little bit, and so I climbed back up on there and got to the top, standing there and looking down at that water, and it dawned on me, that was the stupidest thing you ever did. You had to wait and talk yourself off the first time. Now you're standing up here again. Well, I stood there, and the sun started going down. It started getting dark, and the old saying, once bitten, twice shy. Yeah, should have heeded that, because I was up there and it was already getting dark, and I just scared to death jumping. So, but I finally jumped and got down. I didn't do it a third time. that was enough for me. I know lots of people have different fears in their lives. That was just one of them that I had grown up with, as the fear of heights, and that was kind of humorous. Matter of fact, I was taking a college course and I wrote a paper on it because people don't realize that we sometimes have to challenge our fears, and sometimes it don't make sense to challenge them twice in the same day. So if you had an incident like this that's happened to you, or a story or something similar, why don't you drop it down in the comments, let me know. Again, I love hearing stories. And I just want you all to have a good day, and I hope this gives you a little laugh, because it sure did me for many years. And it also kind of kept me from climbing up on things very high. So have a good day. Enjoy.